profit. And oh, how can I wait? Let me move my bar around here so I have access to my little. There we go. All right, so we're going to spend about the first 40 minutes, 30 to 40 minutes here walking you through the 6-step 90-day roadmap for increasing your profits and reducing your workload. And then I'm going to spend about 10 minutes showing you Annie and I's plug and play system that makes implementing this proven roadmap faster and easier. And then we'll do a nice long Q&A and get all of your questions answered. All right. Now, if you stay on until the end, you're going to get the actual 90-day roadmap downloadable guide. So we'll give you the link to that guide at the end. You don't have to stay for the whole Q&A, just the end of the training. The reason is if we send you the guide and you aren't here, the guide isn't gonna like make much sense. So if you stay on for the training, then we will go ahead and send you that downloadable guide. All right, so I am Heidi Deco, and this is my co-founder, Annie Chu. I'm going to do a quick intro on myself, and then Annie's going to do a quick intro on her. So I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've built 4 companies, sold 3 of them. All of them had 50% plus profit margins. The last one was a 7-figure exit. Then I went on kind of a nice long sabbatical, which I needed at the time. I basically left my marriage, sold my company, moved to a new city, kind of uprooted my whole life. Went on a nice long sabbatical. And during that sabbatical, Annie and I had been chatting, and you'll hear her background in a moment, about just a huge pain point in small business, which is team. Team is the biggest challenge and generally is your number one cost is payroll. And so we were riffing about the systems and playbooks that we have found and kind of cracked the code on over the years in our businesses and how we could make that available in a plug and play system to business owners everywhere. And so we started kind of dreaming it up. And then when I felt emotionally and mentally and physically ready to go back to work and launch a new business, she and I rolled up our sleeves and put this system into something that you can just grab and go and plug into your business. So we're really excited to be launching that now, and we'll tell you about that at the end of today's training. So Annie, tell them a little bit about you and your background.
Perfect. So nice to meet you all today. So I'm Annie. I'm based in San Juan, Puerto Rico. So I have been in the recruiting industry for over a decade. I've recruited CEOs, board members, C-suite leaders, directors, entry-level staff members, virtual assistants. So basically everybody from entry-level positions to all the way to CEOs and kind of C-level executives for a lot of different types of companies, both public companies, so companies that are Fortune 500 companies, to private equity firms, nonprofits, foundations, and entrepreneurial and for small business owners. One of the things I've loved the most about recruiting is actually working with companies at key inflection points. So those that are growing small and mighty, but really need a couple of key hires to really kind of get the leverage they need to get to that next level. And so I just really enjoyed meeting Heidi. It was a few months ago when we were just talking about all the different pain points we've had recruiting both overseas talent as well as recruiting in the US. And then we wanted to bring together kind of both of our kind of skill sets, all the kind of headaches that we've gone through individually, and just bring to you the best practices that we've came together with over the years.
Yeah, exactly. All right, without further ado, let's get into your 90-day roadmap to success. So we have used this roadmap recently to help a client lower her payroll cost from $10,000 a month to $2,500 a month. And we nearly doubled her support. So for $10,000 a month, she was getting about 45 hours of team support spread around, a few different people. And now she has 80 hours a week of team support. So we nearly doubled the amount of support she had, but took her from $10,000 a month to $2,500 a month. And so that can make a really big impact on your payroll. Now, I know some of you are running bigger companies where you may be, I mean, she is running, $1 million company, but I know for that, usually 7-figure companies, the payroll's even higher, right? You might even have your payroll into multi 6 figures that you're spending a year, or even multi 6 figures per month on your payroll. And this system works for you as well, or actually better in those situations. We've also worked with clients at a higher level with large payroll. So the system works whether you're a small business, or you're a medium-sized business, or you're a larger business. All right, so, I gotta see my screen here. Okay, moving this down. All right, so our goal is that, hang on. All right. Our goal is that we get most of the minutia off your plate so that you can do more high leverage income generating activities, and increase the amount of support you have so that your team has breathing room and your business can grow. Another challenge with small business is oftentimes your team is maxed out all the time and doesn't have bandwidth. So if there's a fire that happens in the business, or if you get a brainstorm of a new product you want to launch, or a new idea that you have, your team doesn't have the bandwidth to actually do the thing that's going to generate more income, or put out the fire, or build you a stronger foundation to grow on, because your team is maxed out all of the time. So we want to increase the amount of support you have so that there's breathing room in your team, and simultaneously put more cash in your pocket. So lower those payroll expenses and get more cash in your pocket, which right now, during the times that we're in, is more important than ever, that you get yourself into a really good cash position. We don't know exactly what this recession is going to look like. We don't know how long it's going to be. So it is imperative that small businesses get themselves into really strong cash positions. And that's what this system is going to do for you. And then it's going to help get everything systematized so that your business is stable and strong, and help you get a winning team, which means that they're happy, they're efficient, they're working together really well, and they are supporting you, and you're all working for the common goal of the health of the company and growing the company. So that's our goal. Let's dive in. Your 6-step 90-day roadmap to higher profits. Oh, what happened? There we go. Step 1, a little tech. All right, time and energy audit and roles and responsibilities. This is an eye-opening experience, and this is step 1. Inside our system, we actually give you a link to a web page that has a short little 2-minute video on the top, and then there's a link to a time study and a roles and responsibilities template. And what you do with that is, if you have a team, an existing team, which I know many of you do, you just send the link to your team, and it gives them the instructions and templates and everything they need, in addition to giving you what you need, so that you and your entire team can do a 2-week time and energy audit. And so what that means is that you're going to use our template. So, and you and everybody on your team is going to document in 15-minute increments everything that's getting done every single day. And then separately from that, they're going to take the roles and responsibilities document, the template, and they're going to put in it what they believe their role and their responsibilities are within your company. So at the end of 2 weeks, you have a time and energy audit on your entire team and yourself, and you have a roles and responsibilities for your entire team. It will be eye-opening, and you need to do this twice a year, at least twice a year in your business. It's going to be eye-opening for a few reasons. You're going to see inefficiencies. You're going to see things that you thought you weren't doing anymore, but somebody didn't get the memo and they're still doing some outdated process or something that really doesn't need to be done. You're going to see how much time is being spent on things that don't move the needle in your business, and how little time is spent on things that actually are making the biggest impact. And then the energy audit. So once you do the 2-week time study, you're going to have everybody in your team, and the instructions are already done. You don't need to even give your team instructions. You literally just say, hey team, we're doing a thing. Here's a link, go here. And we give your team all of the instructions they need. And so they're going to highlight on there. A orange highlight means it's something that drains them. They feel totally sucked dry from it. And you're going to do this for yourself as well. All of the things that drain you. And then you're going to highlight in green all the things you love doing that bring you life and energy. And all your team's going to do the same thing. And then everything in white, you're just kind of neutral about. Your team's neutral. So you can look at your team and you can be like, wow, Kate is like totally drained on all these things, but loves these. And then Jane is drained on these things and loves these. And this is all a waste of time. And, so you're going to have this like eye-opening experience from this time and energy audit, and seeing what everybody thinks their roles and responsibilities are. That'll also be eye-opening, because oftentimes as a business owner, there's a disconnect because their role has probably shifted from when the time that they were hired, and what they think their role and responsibilities are isn't necessarily what you think they are. And you're going to suss that out during this exercise. And we frame the exercise as like, hey, this is to make the company just healthy and make everybody happier and more productive. So let's all like come together and do this. We kind of like gamify it for everybody and make it a really happy experience. And we do that as part of our plug and play system. We just send you the link and you send it out, and you don't have to, we didn't add anything to your to-do list. All right, step 2. So once your time and energy audit is done, you've got roles and responsibilities document completed for everybody on your team. Step 2 is eliminate. So following Pareto's principle, which is the 80-20 rule, you need to find the inefficiencies, redundancies, things that are not moving the needle, and you need to eliminate them. So if you're not familiar, Pareto's principle, an Italian economist way back in the day, basically figured out that with most things in life, 20% was creating the majority, like 80% of the results. So for example, if you look at most businesses, 20% of the clients generate 80% of the income. If you look at like the roads in any given country, generally 80% of the traffic drives on 20% of the roads. Like, and you can just, Pareto's principle just kind of follows through in most things, on planet Earth. It's kind of just a phenomenon. And your business is no different. So about 20% of what's being done on a day-to-day basis is moving the needle of your business 80%, right? And so what we want to do is double down on the 20% of things that are actually moving the needle, that are actually bringing in revenue, and that are moving you towards your goals. And we want to start eliminating the 80% that doesn't. Eliminate or automate, which is step 3. So some of that 80% can't be eliminated. Like, it's not really moving the needle, but it's things that still need to get done. So you want to pinpoint those tasks and processes, and you want to automate them using technology and AI, which will save your team time, save you energy, save resources. And then it also helps it gets it done usually better, because remember, errors happen. Humans make errors. Machines generally don't, right? If they're programmed, the machine just does the thing it's programmed to do, and it does it correctly all the time. Like your calculator, when you type something in your calculator, it gives you the correct answer, the correct math answer, right? Because it's a machine. Versus if you did that in your head, you may or may not be getting to the right answer. And so by using technology and AI, things are getting done more correctly in your business. They're getting done automatically, not through manpower. And so that also helps you reduce the payroll, and it makes your team happier, because none of us want to be doing like really boring minutia. Like, we want to like using our brains for more creative work, more fun work. And so by automating all of that minutia and leveraging AI, that makes our jobs easier. It makes our jobs more fun. And you want to position it that way with your team. So step 3 is automate. All right, step 4, delegate and systematize. This is one of my favorites. And Annie and I geek out about this. She and I are systems queens. So you want to create a standard operating procedure, what's called an SOP, for every process in your business. So this ensures that processes are always done efficiently, they're done correctly. And then if someone is out or leaves, anyone can step in and do that person's job. So the fastest and easiest way to do this in your business is basically get everybody on your team to start documenting every process they do for the next month. So you want to say, hey guys, we are going to systematize everything in the business. So every time you do a process, you need to document it. Now, a fast, easy way to document processes is using Loom, Loom.com, Loom. It's a video if you're not familiar, where if you're doing something, you can just click start, and a Loom video, it'll basically videotape your screen, will videotape everything that you're doing on your screen. So it'll tape you doing the process. You can drop that in a Google Doc, and then underneath it, you can add in any additional instructions that somebody would need to know if they're doing that process. You can add in links, you can add in details, you can add in whatever. And so you could just set up a simple Excel, or a Google, sheet, spreadsheet, and say, these are SOPs. And then everybody can just say the name of the SOP and then link to the Google Doc that has the Loom video in it with the instructions. Now you can get more fancy and use a system like Notion. Notion HQ is an awesome tool. You can keep your SOPs all organized in there. There are some fancy tools, but don't overcomplicate it. If you're in a place in your business where you have little to no SOPs, the thing that you need to do is just get your team and yourself to start creating SOPs. And you need to have the path of least resistance. So if the path of least resistance is, hey guys, every time you do a process, spend 5 extra minutes, document it by recording a Loom video, dropping in a Google Doc with any additional notes and instructions, and dropping the link to the Google Doc in our master, SOP spreadsheet doc, so that you have a master spreadsheet that links to all of your SOPs. It can be that simple, where it just takes everybody 5 extra minutes is all on everything they do. And within a month, you're going to have basically everything in your company systematized. And that makes delegating significantly easier. You can move things from this person's plate to that person's plate. If somebody's gone, anybody can step in and do that person's job. And then also you can look for inefficiencies and things happening. And you want to have your team to keep up the SOP. So as things change, it's their responsibility to keep the SOPs updated. For whatever SOPs they're in charge of, are their responsibility to keep them updated. And if new processes happen, it's their responsibility to create an SOP for that new process. So you need to get the entire team enrolled on having the business systematized, and how much better and easier everybody's job is when everything is systematized. Step 5, this is the big one. All right, now you're going to do a rebalancing of your team and your payroll costs. So after you've audited, we did your time and energy audit, your roles and responsibilities. We audited what's draining everybody, what's motivating and inspiring everybody, what's neutral. You then from that have eliminated, and you've automated and you've systematized, and now it's time to rebalance your team and your payroll costs. And so what you want to do is look at your payroll, your team in an operational layer and a strategy layer. So your operational layer is the admin, it's your marketing, it's your, the support of your business. And then your strategy layer are the people that sprinkle the magic on your business. And so you as a business owner are part of your strategy layer. You maybe have a really high-end copywriter. You maybe have a specialized project manager or a specialized something that, delivers your product or does some other specialized thing in your business. So that's your strategy layer. You have coaches. You might have mentors. You might be in a mastermind. That's your strategy layer. And then your operational layer is everything else. Ideally, you want your team to have an operational layer and a strategy layer, and you want to eliminate everything in between. And then you ideally want to have your operational layer be most or all outsourced overseas. And that really helps reduce your payroll costs, because with most small businesses, your operational layer, that's a really easy to outsource overseas, which helps you cut those payroll costs down by as much as 1/10. You can get super high quality people overseas to run your operational layer. And there's a few side benefits to that as well. So in addition to having this fantastic overseas team that's costing you about a tenth of what it would cost, what we call locally, so stateside, Canada, Europe, Australia. In addition to that, you're actually helping your brothers and sisters on the other side of the planet by giving them life-changing income and benefits. One thing that you'll find by outsourcing most of your operational layer is that usually 70 to 80% of your team ends up being women. And as we know, worldwide, there is a huge pay gap between men and women for the same positions. You can be part of the solution and start closing that gap by paying the women in your operational layer who are overseas above average wages for that job, that same job. And so that provides life-changing income for that woman. You can also provide some life-changing benefits. And we talk in depth about this inside our plug and play system, which we'll tell you all about at the end of today's training. And so in that system, we give you all the templates and everything you need, but a few benefits that you want to provide your full-time overseas team is, number one, a generator. In most countries, especially like Philippines, they're constantly running out of power. So it helps them be a better employee for you, and it helps them feed, cook dinner for their kids, bathe their kids, just not be running out of power all of the time. Like their home then is always has power because they have a generator that you included in their employment, which costs you very little money, but is life-changing for them. Also, you're providing a higher level and more secure internet connection, which again costs you very little money. It makes them a better employee for you because they have a really good internet connection, but then also their kids can do homework faster and better. Their whole household can run better. One thing that we recommend for all of the full-time women that work for you, especially if they're in higher level positions, or even so, is we recommend that you hire them a full-time in-home helper. So this is hiring another woman to come in and do all the cooking and cleaning and caring for the family. In countries like the Philippines, there's a huge burden put on women, even more so than in America, which is also a pretty bad burden. The stats are staggering on that. Where women just do an enormous amount of free labor and get a lot of things put on them from the family. And so by you employing another woman, which keeps a woman who typically has no education and very little means, they're now able to work in a loving home and have a full-time income and feed themselves. And it only costs you between 120 and 150 US dollars a month if it's in the Philippines, for example. And I'm just using Philippines as an example. And we tend to get our overseas team from Philippines, but this runs true in most, overseas countries. And so then that woman that works for you isn't doing all this free labor in her house. And so she now can focus on her job and making a good income that provides for her family. She has power most of the time. She has internet and she has this home helper. And so you have changed her life. And then in exchange for that, she will be a fantastic worker in your business and really value her position for you. And then you as a business owner are raising up people on the other side of the family or on the side of the planet, especially women. And then you are decreasing your payroll costs by having that operational layer done overseas. So you can put more cash in your pocket, and that allows you to take better care of yourself and your family and, give to charities or whatever it is that you want to do with that extra money. It's a win-win-win. All right, so you need to have the right people in the right roles with clear objectives and scorecards. And the goal is to make the strategy layer really lean and then focus your operational layer on mostly being overseas. And without a high functioning, reliable, happy team, you'll burn out. And I know some of you are probably burned out right now, and that's why you're here today. And so this is the plan to help get you out of burnout. So the key is to have the support you need at a price that your business can afford. All right, step 6 of the 6-step system is hiring and onboarding system. you've got to have an effective hiring and onboarding system in place for both overseas and local hires so that you can always attract, hire, and onboard the right people whenever you need them. If you plan on keeping your business, you will have to continue to hire people. Even if you don't plan on growing, people are going to leave. The reality is you're not the same. The team that you have today isn't going to be the team that the exact team probably that you're going to have next year at this time and the year after and the year after. Like people come and go, they get new opportunities, they get sick, they get, different things happen in lives, right? We're humans. And so you need to have a system in your business so that you can go out and attract, hire, and onboard the right people when you need them. So whether you're doing it because you're growing or you're doing it to replace existing people, you've got to have a system set up. And the plug and play system that Annie and I created for you, birthed into life, does all of that. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. So let's review. Step 1 of this 6-step system. You want to do a time and energy audit and roles and responsibilities. And this takes 2 weeks. And inside our system, we give you everything you need. You just literally take the link, send it to your team, and done. Then step 2 is when you get all of that stuff back from your team and you do it for yourself, do it for yourself. Do it. It's, I know, a little bit of an annoying task, but do it. It will be eye-opening for you. Then you're going to look and you're going to say, okay, we got to eliminate. And so you're going to look at everybody's time and energy audit, including your own, and you're just going to start slashing stuff that just doesn't need to be done. That's redundant. That's inefficient. That's not moving the needle. The next thing you're going to do is automate. And we'll go over with you some of our favorite and best automation tools. If you follow Annie and I on social media, we talk about them a lot. There are simple AI solutions that are very inexpensive that can automate processes for you. And that there's some that just basically are pretty much every business, no matter what niche you're in, it will save your company time and money. And those are the ones that we tend to talk about the most. So you want to automate. Step 4, delegate and systematize. So get everything SOP'd and delegate. You're going to see things that you're doing that you absolutely should not be doing. You need to be doing high-level revenue generating activities in your business. You are bringing the magic, right? You're bringing the magic to the customers, working with your clients and bringing in new clients. And so if you don't have an assistant, that is the first hire that you should make. Is get yourself an assistant. And when you do your time study, you're going to see all of these things that you're doing that you absolutely should not be doing. These are, $10 an hour tasks, maybe $5 an hour tasks that you're spending your time on. And so you need to be delegating those to your team or hiring your self-assistant. Step 5, you're going to rebalance your team and your payroll costs. You're going to have your operational layer and your strategy layer, and you're going to have your operational layer primarily overseas. And then step 6, you're going to have a hiring and onboarding system in place. So if you want to build a winning team the profitable way, then we have something for you. Annie and I want to introduce to you Alchemized Teams. This is the plug and play system with coaching support for building and scaling your team. And this is a system, not a program. So this is not like a program that you go and you watch all these videos and you learn all this stuff. What it is it's literally a plug and play system. It is a boatload of templates and it's like, plug this in, plug this in, plug this in. So it is a grab and go system that will immediately save you time. Oh, why am I not? Here we go. All right, so here's what you get. Now you're welcome to pull up this web page, and then I'm going to go through it on the screen as well. But if you want to open up a new window and look at this, that's where we have the system available right now. Okay, so we're going to walk through what you're going to get. You're going to get 12 job ad templates. So these are 12 different positions that pretty much every small business either needs or will need at some point. These are like the main positions that you just need in your business. And then we're going to give you a list of unique places to post these. Now, this entire system comes with 2 versions. You get version A, which is when you're hiring local talent, local meaning people from like the US, Canada, Australia, this side of the planet talent. Not that Australia's on this side of the planet. We don't know what to call it, so we're calling it local talent. And then you're getting the system for overseas talent because it's very different. The process is different. If you've tried hiring overseas before and you're like, I tried it, it didn't work for me, it's because you didn't do it right, which isn't your fault. There's a lot of pitfalls in it, and it is an entirely different system. The vetting, the hiring, and the assessing and the onboarding is a completely different system, and you get both systems. So with Alchemized Team, we give you both. So you can have both systems set up in your business. So whenever you want to get local talent and whenever you want to get overseas talent, you have both systems in place. So you get the job talent, job templates and where to post. We show you how to set up an automated pre-screening funnel in 15 minutes so that you can quickly, or so that people are automatically getting weeded out before they get to you. That makes it so you don't have so many applications to go through that aren't a good fit. And then you're getting a whole comprehensive interview guide. Annie just like knocked it out of the park with this interview guide. For all 12 of these positions, you're getting the exact interview questions to ask, how to assess the answers of those questions, all of that. It's a really comprehensive interview guide that is just, you just grab it and you just follow it, right? You don't have to learn anything. You don't have to learn how to be an HR person. You just like literally follow step by step and just do it. It's all plug and play.
Hey Heidi, so quickly,
Yes.
in terms of these 12 job templates, just to give people a sense of what these roles are. So these are, for example, executive assistants, virtual assistants, social media manager, customer support. So we really thought through for a small business owner, what type of roles you're typically needing to hire today or will hire in the future. And then we also, in the job template, you also see, there's different levels, right? For example, if you're looking for a brand new executive assistant, this is what they typically should be doing. And then we also have a next level down. So if it's an operations manager versus a chief of staff, so you'll see kind of depending on where you are in your business and the type of kind of skill set you'll need. We definitely build that into our job description as well as our scorecard.
Yeah, perfect, Annie. Thank you. And that was perfect because my slideshow just got screwed up. Okay, we're going to try this again. All right, there we go. I don't know what I clicked, but we, okay, sorry about that. Thank you, Annie. Yes. Okay, and then the next things you're going to get is a salary rates guide. And so for a lot of small businesses, they're like, I don't know what to pay these people. And we give you the guide again for both all the operational layer team and the strategy layer team. And so you're going to get the salary rates guide for both. Then you're going to get a negotiating the offer guide, including your job offer template. And then your new hire onboarding playbook. Oh my gosh, this is very comprehensive. In the playbook, we're even including done for you videos and stuff that you can just use in your onboarding. So for example, some mindset stuff. When you're onboarding, especially overseas talent, it's really important that you teach them about certain communication because they do live in a different culture with different norms. And so we want to educate them on how, kind of we operate and how communication works and all of that. So we pre-made those videos for you, and you literally just be like, watch this and this and this. You don't even have to make videos. Obviously, if you want to use our template and make new versions of it for yourself, you can totally do that. Or you can just like use the ones that we've already made for you. And then we have a bunch of other things in there that gives you everything you need so that you can very effectively onboard every new person, whether they're local or they're overseas. There's two different systems. You can get them onboarded quickly and effectively into your business so that they are off to the races and helping actually like be able to do their jobs. New hire assessment tool. So what you want to do is assess people. So if you made a bad hire, you want to suss that out as quickly as possible so that you can cut your losses and move on. The longer you keep somebody who's not the right fit, the more costly it is for your company. And so you want to suss that out in 30 days or less. And so we show you how to do that, and then how to continue to have scorecards and clear objectives for them. And we set it up in the beginning of the relationship so that they're all set up. And then existing people, we show you how to position it so that they don't feel threatened at all and that they see this as a benefit for the company. And then of course, a firing guide, because The reality is, as a business owner, you do have to fire people from time to time. So we give you the exact scripts and how to do that in the most graceful, easy way possible so that it feels good for you, it feels good for them, it reduces the chances of you having any legal issues, and so just how to fire. And then we give you coaching support. So with this, since this is just our initial launch, we want to make sure that it is meeting all of your needs and that you're able to grab it and implement it very effectively in your business. So with this system, you get 6 months of unlimited calls with Annie and I. So during our open office hours, which we have every other week for the next 6 months, you can jump on a 15-minute call with either Annie or me. You get to pick. So you could meet with Annie one time and me the next time and Annie the next time, or whoever you want to meet with. And we will do a 15-minute call to get all your questions answered, give you whatever coaching support you need. So we're in this together. And then until midnight, March 31st, tomorrow, if you invest in the system, we are going to also give you a private 30-minute consulting session, which you can have with either Annie or me. So in addition to your little 15-minute office hours calls, you can book a 30-minute session that we've got lots of space on the calendar for you to choose the day and time that works for you. And if you're in a very different time zone, we did kind of open it up to try to get all your calls in at reasonable times. And so you get that 30-minute private session with Annie and I. It will be recorded and transcribed. We'll send you the recording and the transcription of that. So it's really valuable. And that's it. You can get your proven system now at alchemizedteams.com/proven system. So you can pull that up on your screen now. And we're going to start our Q&A in just a couple of minutes. If you're interested in exploring consulting, then we actually have a limited number of free profit breakthrough sessions available. These are $1,000 sessions that we have a limited number of them available right now for free. So if you love the idea of the system, but you want more hands-on support in your business, you want Annie and I in there, like helping you implement everything. So for example, we'll actually do your firing for you. If there's any firing that needs to be done, we'll handle the firing for you. We'll come in, you'll kind of position us as like almost like a contract, CEO, COO, where we're coming in and we're just, following the 6-step plan and really executing it. So we do have 4-month consulting plans available. And if you want something that's like, all right, I don't want a 4-month consulting plan, but I want a little more support than the plug and play system, the in-between thing we have is we do have a VIP day. So you can get a VIP day with Annie and I, and it comes with a bunch of support like Boxer support for a month and a follow-up session and a bunch of things. You can read about that on that same page. So those are the 3 options that we have available for you. We have the plug and play system, which right now is just $1,500. And that includes unlimited 15-minute calls with Annie and I during our open office hours for the next 6 months, plus a private one-on-one session with Annie or I. And that's just $1,500. And then we are throwing an additional couple $1,000s worth of bonuses, some really amazing bonuses in that. Then the second option is you can do a VIP day with us, which comes with the plug and play system. Plus you get a VIP day with Annie and I, you get a follow-up session, you get Voxer support, you get a bunch of things included in that. That right now is only $6,000 and we only have 10 spots available. So that is a first come, first serve. That's $6,000. And then we also have 4-month consulting plans available. And those range from $1,500 a month to $2,997 a month for the 4-month consulting plans. And so if you're interested in the consulting plan or the VIP day, but you're not sure, then go ahead and book a free profit breakthrough session. And during this session, I'm going to find the profit leaks in your business. I'm going to give you an action plan, and then we'll discuss the consulting packages with you and find one that's right for you. And that is available at profitbreakthroughsession.com. And Annie will drop that link in the chat. Profitbreakthroughsession.com. That's a first come, first serve. So if you want a free profit breakthrough session. It's valued at $1,000. It's a really valuable session. You're going to leave with an action plan. We do an intake with you, and then we do your session, and then you get an action plan and a transcript and recording and everything. So it's a pretty comprehensive thing, and it will help you suss out if you want to do one of the consulting packages with us. All of the consulting packages with us do come with the Alchemized Teams system. And so if you already purchased the Alchemized Teams system and then you decide you want a consulting package, we will reimburse you for the cost of the system because the system is included in all of our consulting packages. So that's profitbreakthroughsession.com. Oh, and now you can download your 90-day roadmap. So that is roadmap-to-more-profit.com. Roadmap-to-more-profit.com. You can download your 90-day roadmap now. And then Annie, if you haven't yet, can you drop in the chat the link to where they can get the Alchemized Team system?
Yep, I just drop in the chat all three. So the roadmap to moreprofit.com, the Alchemized Teams proven system, and then lastly, the profit breakthrough consulting sessions and packages.
Great. Time for Q&A. Yay. All right, I'm going to stop the screen share and pull your beautiful faces up on the screen here. All right, let's get your questions answered. So you can either turn on your camera and physically wave at us, and then we'll call on you. Or in the bottom corner there, you can actually put like a hand up. It does like a little like emoji hand. So you can do the emoji hand, or you can just wave at us. That's the low-tech version. Turn on your camera and wave. Or if you want to type your questions in the chat, like if you're somewhere where you're like, hey, I can't talk, no worries, just type your question in the chat and we will read and answer your questions. Okay, I'm just getting my screen together here. And then Annie did put all the links for you. So if you want to invest in the system right now, we've got the fast action bonus is only available right now, that extra $450 bonus. That is the top link that Annie put in. The second link. The first link is the free profit breakthrough session. So if you want to grab one of those, that's the top link. If you're ready to invest in the system, that's the second link. And if you want to download your handout from today's workshop, that is the third link. So they're all in the chat there. So grab those links while we're here.
So I'll go ahead, and I know Kim, you and I had a nice chat while Heidi was going through the presentation, and you mentioned that hopefully you don't mind me sharing that you're currently doing, everything yourself, and Heidi and I have been there multiple times where we're doing everything ourselves. And so I think this system is great, whether you are making your first hire or if you're, looking to, upgrade your team members, or you're looking to, add new team members. For example, if you currently are doing all the social media yourself and all the, Canva graphic designs yourself, and you're looking to add another team member who does that, that's great. If you are, run a really great affiliate program, so you're looking to add another affiliate program manager, that's great. Or if you're somebody who, have been doing everything yourself from bookkeeping to, calendar management to everything under the sun, program is also great for you. And typically, as I mentioned, the first hire we normally recommend people make is a virtual assistant or a personal assistant / executive assistant who can handle a lot of the minutiae that you're currently handling day to day.
Yep, exactly. Maya, yay, I'm so happy. And Erica, Kim, do you have a question? No, you're good. Okay, it's great to see your beautiful face. Thank you for coming. And this system, like I talked about earlier, whether you're making your first hire, like Annie was talking about, or you're a bigger business, this works. So I'm going to give you guys a sneak peek. We're not announcing this until tomorrow, but I'm going to fill y'all in because you're here live. So we actually just added a brand new mic drop bonus to our system. So my friend, Kate Erickson, that I met 6 years ago in Puerto Rico, I actually found a picture of the day we met and we're emailing it out tomorrow. So watch your inbox for that. So Kate runs a $2.5 million a year business with an 88% profit margin, and she never works more than 20 hours per week. Kate uses this system. So Kate and I bonded because she's just a lovely human being and is, fantastic. And then what she and I geek out on regularly is this basically the system, the people, technology, an SOP system. And she and I have all the same philosophies and basically run the exact same playbook. And so at the time that I met Kate, which was in May of 2017, so this was 6 years ago, I was running a business that was generating about 600,000 in revenue, and I had about 400,000 a year of net profit. Kate was running, multi-million-dollar business, and she had an even bigger profit margin than me. And we were both working part-time in our businesses, and we were basically doing that. We're like, wow, we're actually doing the same thing. Like we both had just kind of like through trial and error and lots of years and lots of, stress, we had figured out this system, and we were running these overseas teams, an operational layer and a strategy layer, and just basically doing exactly what I walked through with you today. And so this system's proven. We do it in our businesses. I've done it in all of mine. She's doing it in her business, which is a bigger business. So if you're somebody that you're like, this is all great, but I'm doing 3 million a year in revenue, so is Kate, right? And so this works at all those levels. If you're just starting out, all the way up into multi-millions.
So Heidi, we had a couple good questions come through, and hopefully I just sent everybody the new link for Profit Breakthrough. Hopefully that works now. So just going in order, Heidi. So Katie mentioned that she doesn't need the whole program. She's just looking, needing a VA from someplace like Fiverr. Do you have guidelines just for that?
Yeah, you actually do need the system. I know it seems like you don't, but the thing is, to get a VA, it's a process. So first you need to take the job template that we give you, edit it. You need to post it in the places that we tell you to. You need to set up your vetting funnel, which takes about 15 minutes. Just you do a Google form. We give you all the questions so that when you're getting in all of the responses, you're not getting inundated with people that are not qualified. They go through this pre-vetting funnel. And then you're getting in people that at least have been pre-vetted. Then you need to give them tests. The thing with overseas people, the interview really doesn't matter at all. You need to give them tests. So in our system, we give you the exact tests to give them based upon the role. So for a virtual assistant, give them these tests. For a marketing assistant, give them these tests. For da 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 da. And so depending upon what role you're hiring, you want to give them those tests. And then we show you how to assess those tests, and then what additional tests, another round of tests that you want to give. And, basically the entire hiring process, we walk you through, we give you all of the templates. Then once you decide to hire them, we show you, and we also show you, like, depending upon what you want to hire, these are the pay ranges. This is who's on the low end. This is who's on the high end. These are the benefits that you want to do. This is how much the benefits cost you, like all of that information we give you. And then when you found your person, you're like, okay, this person passed all the tests. I want to make them the job offer. We give you the job offer template, which includes some very clear communication that you need to give them. It's really important, especially for overseas people, that you word things a certain way and you set very specific expectations. So we give you the template for that, so you can send it to them, so it's all clear. Then we give you their onboarding. It's very important that you put them through specific onboarding so that they are going to work out for you. And so then we give you that whole onboarding, everything you need. Some of it is done for you. Some of it we say it's specific to your business, but we give you the template and you just fill in the specifics about your business so that they're being onboarded very efficiently and effectively, so that they're actually going to stick around and they're going to work out for you long term and they're going to communicate with you. So I'm going to give you guys a story. Here's an example of why onboarding is so important. So you have to remember, I learned these lessons the hard and expensive and long way. We're giving you the easy button. Y'all remember the Staples easy button? Like you just click, easy button, done. We're giving you the easy button. So I've got a story for you. Years ago, I had this graphic designer working for me. She was in the Philippines and she's phenomenal. She'd been working with me for a number of years, and I think like maybe 2.5 years, 3 years. And all of a sudden she like went off the grid. She just like disappeared, and we're like in a launch and she's like gone. And I can't get a hold of her, can't get a hold of her. Finally, like, I don't know, it's like 5 days later or whatever. I finally get a hold of her. And you know what she said to me? I had a baby. And I was like, I had no idea she was pregnant. And I was like, what? And this is very common. So I, obviously opened a dialogue with her, and she said, I was afraid that if I told you I was pregnant, you would fire me, because those kinds of things happen in her area, and they get indoctrinated into this belief system that it's better to not communicate with you. And so that is part of just what's culturally in the belief system. And so we have to undo that belief system in your onboarding. And so we do that in our onboarding, where we teach them that they need to communicate, and why and how and at why, and we give them psychological safety in their position. And you're going to give them a certain amount of pay. We show you how to do paid time off in a way that works really, really well for these countries, because they have a whole special holiday. They have a whole special situation that you need to know and understand. And you can run this PTO in a way that's very low admin and works for them and works for you, and creates communication between the two of you, and like all of that, right? So all of that's built into the system. So I know right now you're thinking all I need is, but actually what you really need is an entire system. Now you're only going to use the system right now to hire this one person, but then you have the system, it's set up because A, that person's not going to be with you forever. That's the reality. And B, you may grow and just need to add to the team and add more people. And so then you have the system set up. And Katie's got her hand up. All right, dear, go ahead and tell us your question.
Thanks. So I get all of that if I'm hiring someone to come on board, but I'm not at that stage yet. I'm just looking for people that do like website design. So I'm only going to have them do my website, or I'm going to look for someone that does, they can create PDFs for me. So they're just a graphic designer. They've got a million other clients that they're working with. I'm not hiring them. I'm not giving them time off. It's just, I'm at that stage. And that's where I'm trying to figure out what's the best way to hire someone where they're like me. They have their own terms that they work on, their own contracts, their own hourly rates. So I know how to interview. I've done that before at my other jobs, but it's more of, I'm just contracting with someone to work on a project at this stage.
Got it. Yeah. So there's a couple of ways that you can go about that. So, for graphic design and stuff, we do all of that overseas. Like the only time that I do it, what I call local, is for high level branding, like just to kind of get the brand on the tracks. And then we do everything else overseas, which I don't even invest in high level branding until the business is at like a certain level. Like if you look at our branding, it's nothing, fancy, right? We just have, so all of our we have 2 graphic designers. We pay them $5 an hour. They're in the Philippines. They're just hourly, so they don't get all the benefits. They don't get all of that. We did use our hiring system to find them, and they, contract with us, and they're phenomenal. And we are one of a few clients that they work with. The reason that we have 2 is we just believe in duplication, because at any given time, if somebody leaves or gets sick, you end up screwed. And so I've just learned over the years to just duplicate everybody. And when you're and they're just contracted hourly. So we just give half the work to one and half the work to the other, and, it works out. So you can, you could use our system for that. Another option is you can, just go to like Fiverr and Upwork and find people both overseas, and you can find local people. Obviously, local graphic designers are totally different, hourly wage. They're generally at least $50 to $60 an hour, upwards from there. We've had some that are like $95, dollars an hour. But you can just kind of go to those places and find those kind of, contractors. And those places have both local options and overseas options.
And I have done that. And what I've noticed is when they put their work up, it's not really their work. And I find that out after I've given them something to do, and the quality is not at all what they have posted. So how do you vet for that? How do you screen for that?
Yeah, I know I'm just getting back to our system. As I hear you, Katie, I have been there. I get where you're at. So we give tests. We don't hire anybody without doing tests. And so like for our graphic designers that we currently have for this new business, we literally just followed our system. We gave them the graphic design tests, which they are paid tests. So we always do paid tests. And we put them through multiple tests and we see how they did on the design, how they communicated with us. In our tests, we actually purposefully will be a little unclear in an instruction because we want to know if they come back and ask us a question to get the clarity, or if they just kind of like push through and guess what we want. Because we want to hire somebody that's going to come back and get clarity and really understand what we want, and then it's going to create it. So we always do tests. I don't recommend hiring anybody without a test, especially well, I don't recommend hiring anybody without a test that's overseas. I don't recommend hiring anybody wherever they are on the planet that's in a role such as graphic design without a test.
Oh, so you pay them to take the tests, and that's part of your hiring process, sort of like what you invest in making sure you find the right person. Yeah. Okay, now your system makes sense to me for where I'm at. Thank you.
Yeah, you're so welcome.
And Katie, so just so you know, these tests aren't like 20-hour projects, right? So we're not asking you to invest a lot of money on a test. These are, these tests are usually between 2 to 4 hours, typically about 3 hours. And so these rates are manageable for both, and time commitment is reasonable for both you and them.
Yeah. So like an overseas person at $5 an hour, that's a $15 test, right? And you might test like 3 designers or something. But so your entire hiring cost between posting the job ad, paying for tests and everything might be like $100 per position. These are great questions. Thank you, Katie. It's such a good question.
Thank you. That was really helpful.
Okay, good. Yay. We love to be helpful.
And Sharon asked a question about when seeking overseas admin support, is there a particular region that you prefer?
Overseas admin, yeah, Philippines. I just, in part, I have the most experience with Philippines. I started hiring Filipino workers before it was like popular, like 15 years ago. So before like Squarespace and Wix, do you remember back in the day, those of you that are like OGs, those of you that are in your 40s like me that have been around for a while, do you remember back in the day, you had to have basically a WordPress website. There really wasn't any other option. And so way back then, I had a WordPress design agency where I had a whole team in the Philippines that would churn out these template websites. We sold them for like $1,000 a piece to just all these different small businesses. I'd churn out like 1,000 of them a year. And so I got really comfortable with the Philippines. The Philippines is, in terms of if you look at like Latin America and Argentina and the different areas that you could hire overseas team, Philippines is the least expensive, which I find to be helpful because I can provide them a really a high income, like higher than what would be normal for that position. And I can provide them a very generous benefits package. And so I like being able to do that, to provide them a very good income and a very good benefits package. And then I end up being able to attract the best talent, and they are very loyal because they have such a great job. So that's why I potentially love, or that's why I really love the Philippines and why we tend to hire there. With that said, our system works. We have people using it for, Latin America and for Pakistan and India and other places. I just am comfortable with the Philippines, and I like it for those reasons. Also, the Philippines, their English is very good because they teach English in all the schools. So like, it's so funny. We got on with our programmer, Annie and I, the other day, and he's just like, oh, I hate getting on video. My English is so bad. I'm like, Lindell, he speaks literally perfect English with like very minimal accent. I have loads of friends that speak less good English with way stronger accents that like live in my building or my like neighbors, right? So that's just typical of the Philippines. Also, the Philippines culture, even though they're on a very different time zone than the US, that culture is very used to working from 5 p.m. to 1 a.m., which on Eastern Standard Time is 5 a.m. to 1 p.m. our time. So 5 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern is it's a 12-hour time difference. I mean, depending on the daylight savings time of the year, but generally, and hopefully they're going to like end daylight savings finally this year. But anyway, it's for them, it's 5 p.m. to 1 a.m. And that's a very typical time for them to work. They're used to that schedule. So the schedule works for you, the schedule works for them.
So Katie wants to know what other businesses that you sold, Heidi.
Oh yeah. So I had so the last business I sold, so all three of the businesses that I sold were in the online marketing space, but they were in different niches. So the last business I sold was in the travel industry. It was a marketing academy for luxury travel agents. The business I sold before that was in the wellness space. So it was essentially a marketing academy, but we also had included in it, we managed like their websites, their email marketing campaigns, like all of that. And it was for a very specific type of wellness practitioner. So I had a contract with this company that certified these wellness practitioners. And every time a new cohort of practitioners would get certified, I would fly to their Chicago where they did their certifications, pitch from stage my program, and then enroll people. So it was also a monthly membership. So they paid between it was a $497 and a $697 a month like marketing plan. And then the business before that was it was a organizing business. And so in that it was called Clear Simple Living. My buyer though, Sarah Becker, she changed it to Clear Simple Business, and she's grown that business. She's done so well with it. I'm really proud of her. She's awesome. She's like a really great podcast now and stuff. But anyway, it was a organizing business so this was way back in the day. I'm gonna age myself when working from home wasn't a thing. People thought that people who worked from home like didn't actually work, but there was actually like moms and different people that were working from home, even though nobody understood what that was. And they were drowning in paper. So for those of you that are older, you remember we actually had paper. We used to own like file cabinets and be like drowning in paper. And so I created something called the fast filing method, like file and find any piece of paper in 30 seconds or less. And if you do like a really deep Google search on me, you can find some cheesy.
I have watched that YouTube video that Heidi's referencing it. It is adorable. She was made to be on video and on camera, and she is, so for everybody who doesn't know Heidi personally, like her life is just organized from like everything that she does is super organized. Travel is organized, life is organized, her kitchen cabinets are organized. So she's really an optimizer in every single facet of her life.
Oh, thank you, Annie. Yeah, so that was my second business. And in between there, I had the WordPress agency, which I could have sold that business. I didn't understand at the time that it was sellable for a lot of reasons that I won't go into now. Later, I found out that it was actually sellable. But anyway, I ended up just getting burned out and shutting that business down. And that's when I launched the marketing company for wellness practitioners. But anyway, those were the businesses. Oh, I know somebody who's wanting to create his businesses so he can sell. Do you consult on that? Yeah, I do actually. I do some consulting on that. So feel free to just intro him to me. You can just send an email to we'll drop our support email here and just do an intro, and I'm happy to send him a link to my online scheduler. Any more questions before we wrap up today? Y'all have been so fun. The questions have been great. We really appreciated being here. Oh, the mic drop bonus. I think that we actually got distracted and I didn't explain what that was. So the mic drop bonus that we're adding is we're going to do a live mastermind with Kate Erickson and I. So Kate is the one that I was telling you earlier that does $2.5 million in revenue. She has an 88% profit margin and she never works more than 20 hours a week. She and I are going to do a live mastermind. We're going to show you behind the curtains, answer all your questions about how to grow and scale a business into that. And that is a free bonus. Of course, it'll be recorded and transcribed and you'll get it. So if you can't make it live, that live mastermind is going to be in June. So if you invest in Alchemized Teams right now, you're going to get that added bonus. It is, I'll drop it in the chat. for you. So Kate Erickson, with her company is Entrepreneurs, and I spelled that wrong, Entrepreneurs on Fire. She has that business with her now husband, John Lee Dumas. So yeah, that's Kate, Entrepreneurs on Fire. She's amazing. I highly recommend following her.
Yeah, I've heard her podcast, and her podcast is like on fire.
Yeah, yeah. So in addition to Entrepreneurs on Fire is their main podcast, but she has a side podcast that's the behind the scenes of their business. It's so good, so good. All right, I think that's a wrap. Thank you all for being here today. It was so fun. We appreciate your time and attention. Let us know if you have any questions. Thanks for the hearts, Maya. Love hearts. And yeah, the links are in the chat above. Just scroll up. You can go check out the system, invest in the system now while it's on sale for just $1,500, plus you get the fast action bonus, plus the new bonus with Kate Erickson. That's for just a limited time. And then it still will be available. It's just be a little higher price point is all. And then if you want to get a free profit breakthrough session, you can book that at the link above. And if you want to download the handout from today's workshop, that link above as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for coming. It was so fun.
It was so fun. All right, everybody. We'll hopefully see you on the inside. Mwah.
Bye.
Bye. Yay. Thanks, Maya.